then those people who are already scholars and already 4.0, you want to enhance even more so you can stay up. Does that make sense? You want to be able to stay up. One other thing in there. There's a financial aid piece. It tells you about the beginning of financial aid. I'm going to let you keep everything except for my clappers, all right? This is what I want you to know. The financial aid, listen carefully. People, when you go to school, most of us need assistance in going to college. That part is okay. What's not okay for you people to miss the opportunity to apply for assistance. In other words, with the financial aid piece, this will happen. And two things you miss out on. Fellas and girls. It used to be just the guy. When you deny signing up for the military, and I'm not advocating that at all, I'm just simply saying when you register to vote, first of all, that's what you need to do. How old you need to be to register to vote? When you register to vote, they're going to ask you if you want to be a part of the armed forces or something of that nature, a question such as that. Here's the thing, if you deny it, you won't get an opportunity to apply for federal aid dollars. That's huge. Because unless you're already sitting on $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, depending upon the college that you go to, private or public, you will need some assistance by way of a loan, which will be federal aid dollars, the likelihood. So I'm suggesting to you to not miss that little box, because I had to think about it long and strong when it was time for my son to register to vote and then fill that out. I needed the assistance. I have another kid coming behind him, which means then I need the assistance to go to school. So don't miss that opportunity, because people do, and then they find themselves wanting to go to school, and guess what? They don't have the money for it. Now here's the other thing. If you take the loan and you have a side job while you are in school, pay the interest on that loan. Don't continue to just let it accrue. Because let's say you borrowed $20,000 and you pay nothing on it until you get out of school, until you get your first job, and after you're out for 6 months, depending upon the loan, or out for 9 months, you have to start paying immediately, whether you have a job or not. So while you are in school and you are working, if you are working, take some of those dollars and pay on the interest rate. They're usually like $15, $20. You can pay that a month, and guess what? When the time comes for you to graduate, your bill will not be as high. Okay? So those are some pieces that I think you need to know. Now, that handout that's in your folder, it has a website at the bottom. Go to that website, read more information. They give you the 3 different ways about loans for school. Everybody in this room, if you choose to go to school, you can go. There's no if and buts about it. If you choose to go to school, you can go. But you first have to make that fit in your mind, as someone said. Then you also have to have it in your heart. Then you plan for it. And don't let anybody deter you from doing just that. Does that make sense? Yes. Questions about what I said thus far? Anything? Yes, ma'am.
Why y'all don't do the social study pool online?
Do what, baby?
The social study pool online.
Well, we just haven't decided that yet. In other words, the key pieces that people needed were those areas that are there. But again, if you should need some assistance, just let us know, okay? Now here's the other thing I want you to do. I want you to take a business card of mine, and there's an email address on there. That email address, I want you, if you should have questions, I want you to shoot me an email. You'll be shooting it to me, your big sister, okay? You'll be shooting it to me, and I will get back with you with a response. I find that oftentimes teenagers like you, either you're shy as far as asking the question, you don't know who to ask the question, you don't know the answers or anything of that nature. But this is what I want to say to you. I don't have all the answers, but I'm going to help you get whatever it is you're trying to get as far as an answer. Okay? Is that fair? Yes, ma'am.
So what you mean by training? What training?
Well, that training is more or less on the corporate level. For corporate I said, protect your mind, folks. Protect your mind. You know all the social media that's out there and the TV shows, the reality shows that's not really real? I want you to protect your mind. If you're spending more time watching TV and on the social media, then that's the first mistake in terms of being a good planner. In other words, you need to spend less time with the TV, right? And more time with reading. That's another thing that we need to practice on. Practice reading to get information, and even if you read it for pleasure. I love the old magazine. I'm an old girl. I have my aha moments all the time. So I have the old magazine, and I like entertainment. I like having fun. But you have to exercise the brain. And so not just your teachers telling you to read just to get the assignment done. Dr. Cummings is telling you to read so that you can get information. So that you can get information. And if there's some information that you cannot use, guess what? Pass it on. Pass it on to someone else who might can use it. Does that make sense? All right? I told you about asking questions. I want you to do that in an arena like this, at school, wherever you are. Learn to ask questions. We don't ask enough questions. And then when you get the answer, don't always take it for face value. You don't have to challenge everything either. It's a balance. But definitely go and research it and find out if, in fact, what you have received is true. Questions? Comments? All right, give me something.